Humor, right? Everyone likes to laugh. That's why memes are so popular after all. There are so many ways to deliver a joke. There's memes, stand-up comedy, cartoons, movies, and comic strips to name a few. Today I want to talk about a comic strip. But it's not just any comic, it's the greatest comic strip of all time, Calvin and Hobbes. Calvin and Hobbes was a staple of my early childhood. I had read every book many times over when I was 6 years old. In fact, I had practically memorized the entirety of the franchise. Naturally, after exhausting the Calvin and Hobbes comics, I went on to read other comic strips. But to my realization, there is simply nothing like the works of Calvin and Hobbes. A lot of comic strips are okay at best, suffering from poor drawing, bad jokes, lazy humor, and just overall being kinda lame. But Calvin and Hobbes doesn't have any of these issues. Bill Watterson was an excellent artist who could perfectly capture everything he needed in just a simple comic strip. The humor of Calvin and Hobbes is timeless and brilliant. All of the jokes are still funny and relevant over 30 years after they were published, whereas many comics will only hold up for a short period of time because they are based on current cultural issues from an extremely biased position, or about a subject that nobody really cares about after it leaves the spotlight. A good example is political humor. Many comics with political humor will simply make a joke about the hot topic to the point of where they'll even name cultural figures. This is a very deadly mistake political humorists will make. Calvin and Hobbes, on the other hand, will make mockery of things that all politicians will suffer from. An example of that is when Calvin will talk to his dad about re-election as father and how he needs to focus on issues that are popular with 6-year-olds. This humor works well because it simply makes fun of everyone. No specific politicians are called out with this joke, and that makes it relevant for all time. Calvin and Hobbes also has brilliant artwork in it. Often a comic will have art that can be described as serviceable. Nothing about it will be noteworthy. It's just a comic after all. Both Calvin and Hobbes, Bill Watterson would create wonderful pieces of art for a simple joke. This is especially clear in his Sunday comics. His comics are always pleasing to look at. I'll bet you that my vocabulary increased by about 1,200 words by reading Calvin and Hobbes. I was only 6 years old and knew words and phrases like ontological quandary, Weltanschauung, transmogrify, and subliminal messages. Granted, I couldn't define or correctly pronounce them for the longest time. That doesn't mean I didn't try. Anyways though, I just appreciate that Bill Watterson was able to combine art, humor, philosophy, and satire into Calvin and Hobbes. And beyond that, I greatly appreciate that he stopped making Calvin and Hobbes comics. He did the smartest thing he could and quit while he was ahead. Instead of squeezing every dollar out of a profitable franchise, he simply retired from the medium, leaving us with a priceless collection of humor that would benefit generations to come. Thanks for lending an ear to my video essay, everyone. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe if you feel so inclined, and I'll hopefully see you soon in my next video.